As a handful of cheetahs introduced in India at the Kuno National Park last year continue to thrive and get used to Indian surroundings, more good news coming in as South Africa signed a deal with us in India to relocate dozens of cheetahs. South Africa has signed an agreement to introduce now African cheetahs to India over the next decade. Now, this has been confirmed by South Africa. Remember that the first lot were transferred last year from Namibia, and there was always talk about India and South Africa also going ahead with a similar agreement. The reason this is also important is because we understand that dozens of African cheetahs will now be transferred to India, and this is a deal that's been inked over the next decade. So in phases, more and more cheetahs will be brought into India, a huge step to reintroduce the species back into the country. Akshay is joining us with more details on this. Akshay, good morning. We've been constantly also updating our viewers about how the cheetahs in Kuno are doing. Amid that, great news coming in that we'll be bringing in more of the species over the next decade. Take us through what this deal is all about. How's it going to work?
Well, this deal is basically to implement the plan to reintroduce cheetahs to the wildlife, especially in the central India, in the Kuno National Park, where we already brought in about 8 cheetahs last year from Namibia. But this year we have signed another deal with South Africa to introduce more and more cheetahs annually. Now, so the plan is gradually introducing cheetahs from the forests of South Africa, from the states of South Africa to the central part of India. And every year about 12 cheetahs will be brought in India for the next 8 to 10 years, which means that about 100 to 120 cheetahs are planned to be brought back to India, rather to be brought to India and to reintroduce them in the wildlife along with the cheetahs that were already brought here from Namibia. Now, the question that will also remain is that about the natural habitat and whether the government has any plans to expand that too. Because the Kuno National Park is a huge habitat for the number of cheetahs that it currently has. But cheetahs are very fast animals. They require huge land masses to live, to hunt, and to survive. So the question that will also be raised is about the plans to further increase the number of habitats of cheetahs apart from the Kuno National Park, and whether the government has any other plans to reintroduce them anywhere else in the country. Because the number of cheetahs that are being planned to be brought is also big, and as they reproduce, the number of cheetahs in Kuno National Park will also increase.
Very true. So we'll see what the government's plan is, but this is a deal that's been inked over the next decade. Thanks very much, Akshay, for joining us with all those details.